We start today with the breaking news out of Minneapolis, and the reports are terrible. There is currently a massive law enforcement response to a shooting at Annunciation Catholic School and Church this morning. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune reports first responders said there were at least 20 victims. That does not mean 20 are dead, but 20 were hurt in some way, according to emergency dispatch audio. Reuters now reporting that 3 are dead, including the shooter, and 20 are injured, citing a Justice Department official. Annunciation School runs from pre-K through 8th grade, and the school began just 2 days ago. School started on Monday. These are kids just back from their summer vacations, from having fun with their families, the excitement of the first couple of days of school, seeing your friends again, and literally beginning the year in worship, going to the Mass, as this was a Catholic school, and the adjoining church. They were packed in pews at an 8:15 a.m. school Mass. They're literally praying when they were shot. It's like, what? How is there an explanation? How is there faith in these moments? It's so hard. It's so hard. A shooter started firing what appeared to be a semi-automatic weapon, according to a parent who witnessed the incident. Some are describing it as a rifle. The parent told the Star-Tribune, quote, he just pepper sprayed, meaning the gun, through the stained glass windows into the building, 50 to 100 shots. A man who lives in the area spoke about what he heard to News Nation.
This gentleman goes to morning mass every day of the week, and he usually goes to the Basilica.
Yeah.
He just happened to go here randomly, and this is what happened.
And you talked to him as he came out?
Yep. All the parents were on the, if you've never been in there, there's a right and left, and there's an aisle in between. So all the parents were on the left side, and so he was on the left side. So there must have been sporadic gunfire going on. He said it looked like just a normal Sunday Mass. So it was full, of people and children. So.
And how did he get out?
He just ran, when this fire, he said it seemed like it went on for eternity, but when it stopped, he ran out of the building.
When did you first hear about this?
So we live about 2 blocks from here. I was on a call. All the windows of our home were open. I know what gunfire sounds like, and I could tell. I was shocked. I said, there's no way that could be gunfire. There was so much of it. So it was sporadic. It was a semi-automatic. It seemed like a rifle. It certainly didn't sound like a handgun. And so he must have reloaded, several times for sure.
Do you remember about how many gunshots?
I'll just say maybe 30 to 50 to, somewhere in that area.
Do you recall about how long
the fire went on?
Yeah.
For, I would say, several minutes. 3 minutes or, 4, which is a long time for live gunfire.
At this moment, we're receiving more information from local officials there. The mayor describing the shooter as armed with a rifle, shotgun, a pistol as well. We are now being told by the authorities 2 children are dead, ages 8 and 10, killed where they were sitting in the church. Their parents have been notified. Another 17 have been injured, 14 of whom are kids, 2 of those kids in critical condition at this hour. The shooter took his own life, as all of these cowards do, in the rear of the church. Right now, we know nothing about him other than it's one suspect. He's deceased. They say he's in his early 20s, does not have an extensive known criminal history. They're looking for motive. Look, it's early, but I've covered so many of these as a news reporter. And whatever the specific shooter's motivation, what it tends to be, I could have told you this guy was in his early 20s before we had that report, is a guy in his early to mid-20s, possibly late teens at the earliest, who's had a psychotic break, who's had some sort of schizophrenic, psychotic mental health break, which is basically when it happens, and goes homicidal. And there will have been signs. There will have been social media postings generally. There will have been people in the shooter's surrounding environment, whether it's his school, his work, or just his family or friends who have seen troubling signs. And sometimes they report them and sometimes they don't. And sometimes they've had mental health interactions with professionals and sometimes they haven't. But in all cases, the signs were there. And we as a society did nothing. I mean, that's really generally how it goes. Even if we had an interaction with a mental health institution or with law enforcement, it's revolving door, out they go. It's someone else's problem until it's the problem of a bunch of school children literally praying as they were shot to death. The local CBS affiliate describing the emotional scene as it unfolded here.
I'm directly in front of the entrance to the school on Garfield Avenue and West 54th, right off of Lindale. Okay. And I have seen children leave the school with bandages on their arm. One child left with a bandage on his arm, raced to his mother for an embrace. It's clearly a very serious situation. We will not speculate on any details. What we know now is what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is an active police scene outside of the school. And I've seen two children leave with bandages on their arm. It's a really emotional scene here for people who are looking on. I've seen very distraught looking people, potentially parents whose children attend this school. And I have seen police go in and out of the school here, at least a dozen ambulances blocking off the entire road, and just a very active scene and an emotional one for the parents and the families.
And as you can hear there, some of the reporters covering it, how could it not be? The Minneapolis Star-Tribune reporting young children in school uniforms were seen filing out of the building, clasping hands with their parents and friends. Some did not have shoes on. A little boy crying and walking away from the scene was heard saying to his father, "I don't feel safe." I mean, these kids experienced quite a trauma this morning, even the ones who were not injured physically. President Trump posting on Truth Social, quote, "I have been fully briefed on the tragic shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The FBI quickly responded and they are on the scene. The White House will continue to monitor this terrible situation. Please join me in praying for everyone involved." What will the effect of the sparring between President Trump and the Federal Reserve be? Can the Fed take the right action at the right time? Or are we going to be looking at a potential economic slowdown? And what does this mean for your savings? Consider diversifying with gold through Birch Gold Group. For decades, gold has been viewed as a safe haven in times of economic stagnation, global uncertainty, and high inflation. And Birch Gold makes it incredibly easy for you to diversify some of your savings into gold. If you have an IRA or an old 401k, you can convert that into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or just buy some gold to keep in your safe. First, get educated. Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. Just text MK to the number 989898. Again, text MK to 989898 and consider diversifying a portion of your savings into gold. So if the Fed cannot stay ahead of the curve for the country, at least you can stay ahead for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.